We have breaking news as Pierre Dorion has been out as GM of the Ottawa Senators. He has been fired after controversy with a trade pick that happened last year. So we'll be going over all the situation here that we have in this video. Before we get into it, we know that a lot of you guys are not subscribed. We're not going to go into this too much, so if you want to get all the news from around the NHL, you're in the right spot. Make sure to stay a while. Subscribe to the channel so you don't miss out on any of the breaking news. But like I said, Pierre Dorion is out as GM of the Sens after, that whole controversy with the pick with Evgeni Dadonov, where they traded him, he had a no-trade clause and whatever, and Ottawa has to give up a pick to the Vegas Golden Knights, and that was the final straw for the Ottawa Senators. Pierre Dorion is out as GM of the Ottawa Senators. Sorry, wrong screenshot. You can see here, Elliot Friedman's the lucky one today, but everybody has been reporting it. Ottawa will be making the GM change. Pierre Dorion relieved of his duties. He is gone. Now, Noah, let me know. What do you think about this whole situation? Because obviously, I think the Senators have been wanting to do this for a long time, but haven't had a solid reasoning to do so until this very big one that occurred today.
Well, I think this is the last straw, like you said. I mean, obviously they messed up that whole situation. I'm not 100% sure. I trying to remember the details. It was something with Dadonov's no trade clause or something, I think. But, I think Dorion was kind of on thin ice as is. Obviously he's been under a lot of pressure lately in Ottawa. Ottawa's sort of kind of on the outside looking in terms of playoffs. He famously said that the rebuild was over, but I don't know. Ottawa hasn't really made the playoffs. They're kind of in a weird position. So I'm of the mind to bring in a new person, a new face, let them take over, let them sort of get their sort of spiel on things. But interesting news out of Ottawa today for sure.
Yeah, no, you're absolutely right. I think Pierre Dorion had the last straw maybe 2 or 3 years ago, to be honest with you, probably since he made those comments. So it definitely is something I can see Ottawa fans being happy about. Like what you said as well. Here I have the pick controversy. Here's a tweet of it from Puck Report, NHL News on Twitter, or X. Breaking news, Ottawa will forfeit their first-round pick in either 2024, 2025, or 2026 draft for the role in the July 2021 trade of Evgeni Dadonov to the Vegas Golden Knights and the subsequent invalid March 2022 Dadonov trade between the Golden Knights and the Anaheim Ducks. Now, I think it was something like they didn't reveal that he had a no-trade clause or something before the trade went to Vegas and then to Anaheim. Gotcha. It's something along the lines of that. I can't exactly remember, but if you search it up, you can find it, right at the top, whatever you're looking for. And the determination as to which pick will be forfeited will be made by the Senators within 24 hours of the conclusion of the draft lottery for that year. So they do have a lot of time to choose whether they want to give up what pick, if they're going to be bad, they can figure it out with the draft lottery and stuff like that. So they're in not bad hands. But obviously, over these next few drafts that we're going to be seeing, you don't want to lose a first-round pick, especially like a team like Ottawa who's, on the fence of being a playoff team and who might miss, like, a year here. Like, the situation they're in, it's not very ideal to lose that draft pick.
Yeah.
So it's definitely a reasoning to get rid of Pierre Dorion, but I can't. Yeah,
I think.
Go ahead.
Like if you look at Ottawa on the outskirts of the playoffs, they're look at the value of a first round pick nowadays. They could be trying to go on a deep playoff run and need their first round pick to sort of get them a player who's going to help them down the line. They can't really do that now, right? I mean, they're kind of like in what do we do? Because, they might have to take, what is it, the 2024, 2025, 2026.
Yeah.
What if in 2026 they're, top of the Atlantic and they need a defenseman, right? You could use the first round pick to get a stud defenseman to help them get so much further, and now they can't do that, right?
Yeah, no, it definitely holds it. I'm not sure if it's after this draft lottery, like they could decide, no, we don't want to move this one, we'll keep that one, and then they decide between 2025 or 2026, or if it's after this draft lottery, they have to choose one of the three. I'm not quite sure exactly how that'll work out on that terms. But I just can't imagine that the new owner is too happy about having this come out. Nothing has nothing to do with him. He did absolutely nothing. He was no part of the team. He was not involved with, anything about the Ottawa Senators, and now he comes in looking like a pretty good Ottawa team from what we've seen, and now losing the first-round draft pick from something that was nothing on his fault. It's definitely a tough situation that you're in, especially with a new GM. But he also has a matter of the new GM, a possible new GM, we'll say. And that could be Peter Chiarelli, a guy who probably doesn't have the most stellar reputation around the NHL, but he's definitely been around the NHL long enough to know what to do. Hasn't done it right, we'll say, but you can see here, as we've been hearing, Peter Chiarelli is named as making the rounds as a possible GM replacement in Ottawa. Now, I believe he wasn't an advisor to the new owner in the hiring process, so he is involved with the ownership and everything, I think, and
I think he's with the Blues. I thought I seen he was with the Blues. I could be wrong.
Maybe I'm not quite sure right now, but if he's in the ownership, it could be something along the lines of. We'll bring this over to the MLB here. Don Mattingly with the Jays, where he's part of the ownership in Houston and stuff, or the new team they're looking for, or whatever. So it could be something along the lines of that. But Peter Chiarelli's name's been making the rounds. Obviously, he's had a lot of horrible decisions in the NHL, but Ottawa might be just going from bad to worse here. So if this is true, he does seem to be the number one option right now, solely based on him being involved with the ownership. Is it Michael Andujar?
Michael Andlauer, I think his name is.
I can't remember exactly what his name is. I know it's spelled like Miguel Andujar of the MLB, so that's what I've been thinking whenever I see his name. But he was an advisor for him in the ownership process, so it likely seems that he will be the new GM. Obviously, now they have as well a press conference here. I'm not sure exactly what time, but sometime today. Yeah. I doubt if they'll name him GM right away. I think they might sit on it for a bit, put up their assistant GM, interim GM, or whatever, and then let it run from there, see what the options are, look at their options. Because obviously, I would say Peter Chiarelli is not the number one option. I don't think it's a stunning idea, especially with the team Ottawa has now. We've seen what Edmonton had, what he got rid of in Edmonton, what Ottawa has. We don't want to get rid of everything in Ottawa. So I
want to touch on that in Chiarelli as well. Man, there's of all the candidates that are out there. I mean, they go with Peter Chiarelli, really. The guy who's infamous for giving Milan Lucic that crazy deal in Edmonton, trading Adam Larson for Taylor Hall. I mean, Tyler Seguin from Boston to Dallas. I mean, I could go on and on about the bad moves this guy makes. I don't think he's much better than Pierre Dorion by any means. I mean, he's got a good team in front of him, but look at how good, like you said, that Edmonton team was when he was there. I think this is an absolutely terrible move. I mean, maybe call a guy up from within. I'm not sure. I think there are probably a couple different guys down there in Ottawa. I mean, who's been there longer. I think I can't remember who their assistant GM is.
No, I'm not sure.
But but there's definitely better candidates.
I mean, me and you, we're available. If we get a call from Ottawa, I'm answering. I'll just say that because I think Peter Chiarelli is a horrible choice. But obviously, nothing is final yet. We'll be seeing this now, I would say, in the coming days, if not at the press conference today. So we'll keep you guys updated on what's happening with the Ottawa GM whole situation. So if you want to make sure that you don't miss out on any of it, subscribe to the channel, like the video if you enjoyed. Hope you have a great day. Thank you for watching. That's all we got. See you later. Thank you for watching.